Good Sunday morning, everybody. Jeff from Rust Bucket Valley Garage. Uh, had a vehicle in here yesterday. It was a 2000 Toyota Echo VTEC engine, about 188,000 miles on it, and it had a broken rear motor mount. What they call the rear motor mount is actually the one in the middle that goes. It's not the one on the left, one on the right. It's in the middle underneath the car. When this motor mount breaks, you'll get excess vibration in the vehicle. This is actually what it looks like. It is totally covered with grease. This part here is available through Napa, okay, and you order it and it generally comes in the next morning. We didn't film this, okay, and there's a couple of reasons why we didn't film this. First off, it was about 4 hours of pain getting this thing out and getting the thing in. Just to take and get an idea of what I was looking at. I haven't done one of these before. I went on YouTube University and put in 2000 Toyota Echo rear motor mount exchange, and they do not really have anything on this. The one they show is for the Toyota Camry, and Toyota Camry is pretty different. Okay, so I'm going to take and give you some tech tips on how to take and get this this rear motor mount out, and hopefully it'll take and save your sanity just a little bit. As I said before, you should plan for about 4 hours of downtime of the vehicle. Generally, when the rear motor mount goes, it shifts the engine forward about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so you have to take and find some way to pry or jack the engine back into position when you take and get the motor mounts exchanged. Okay, getting this motor mount out, the configuration it sets in is just like this. It has 2 long bolts on it to go through the frame, and then there is another bolt that comes up through the bottom of the frame that threads into this. Okay, so these are 2 nuts, and then there's a bolt. All these are 14 millimeter. Okay, to take and get this thing out, the other videos say just take the bolt out of the middle here, and then take these bolts out, and then go ahead and pull it up through the driver's side. And no, that's not the way this one comes out. There's a bracket that's held on by 3 14 millimeter bolts on the engine, and there is also a heat shield that is 1 bolt going into the side of this that you have to take the bolts out of to take and pull the bracket on the back of the engine out with this. Okay, that took gotta wait the jet go over. Real close to LAX here, so sorry about that. It took 1 hour and 20 minutes to take and get that out. Okay, the thing that took the most time, once you take those 3 bolts out of the bracket that goes to the engine, getting to them is really a bear. If you use a 14 millimeter box end wrench, 12 point, okay, you can go ahead and get those bolts out. Okay, and the one on the bottom, there is like this much room between the cross member and the another piece of the suspension, it's probably the sway bar, to take and get a wrench in there. So this is all a hand tool job, no power tools. To take and get this out, once you get those 3 bolts out of the bracket that goes to the engine and the 2 nuts and the other bolt out of this, yes, you can take and pull this whole assembly in loose pieces, of course, out. To take and go back together with it, that is where the trick comes in, okay? Because getting these bolts back in the bracket that goes into the back of the engine is what takes all the time. Okay, 14 millimeter cross thread bolts, or excuse me, coarse thread bolts going into an aluminum engine block. Okay, to make them go in a little bit easier, take a little bit of anti-seize and just dab it on the end of it. It'll make your job go a lot easier. And put things into position, but don't bolt anything down. Okay? And you'll be able to take and get the 3 bolts into the bracket that goes back on the engine first. And don't tighten them all the way up. Okay? Put them about 3/4 of the way in, and then you'll be able to take and have a lot better time, because since we've never done one of these before, this was a total experimentation. Okay, so once you take and get the engine back into position, and then you get the cross bolt through here, there. The reason we changed this one is one of these sides of this rubber isolator is completely torn, and it's just snapped back into position. That's a reason. It looks okay, but it's not okay. There's there's actually a pretty big crack through it, and the engine was sitting all the way down here instead of up here. Okay. So anyway, if you take and do it that way, you should have a lot better time. Okay, just want to make this little tech tip video for you, because I noticed there wasn't anything on YouTube University that would take and give you a real insight of what you're into. But I hope you have a little bit better time, since you have a little bit of insight as to how you can take and change this motor mount, the rear motor mount on 2000 Toyota Echo, okay, with a VTEC engine. That's what you got to go through to get it. This motor mount here, as I said before, is available through Napa. Not very expensive. It's about $50. Okay, and then your labor, which is just the value you can't even complicate. We charge here about $35 an hour for time on the vehicles. We really like our job, and we like working on cars. We give a lot of people a real good deal on their repairs. The customer that we were doing this for doesn't really have much money, and times are tough right now with the government shutdown and everything, so we're really trying to take and help people out. All right, so I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, and we'll see you next time, and have a great day.